what we're about to get into is a reaction of Baltimore Streets by Andrew Callahan. If you're not familiar with Andrew Callahan and Channel 5, they go around to different new places in the country, and they pretty much just have they take a look at it from a news anchor standpoint. It's a little bit more serious and documentary-esque style than what's the other dude, Brandon Buckingham. Yeah, Brandon Buckingham more have like a hood day party type of feel. Andrew Callahan is more documentary based, but we can go ahead and get into that genre right now. Let me add this to the screen. And we'll press play.
That my dog Doogie, that my Doogie, Matthew.
When your folk gets on your young folk knock up.
This will be the way all people going to Atlanta will actually say they are going to Atlanta.
You want Atlanta? No, Atlanta Badangs.
Ha 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 on getting nangs.
But Doogie also can be used to replace the word head.
I don't know what the fuck they be talking about.
Sexual acts. Dude, hey, where you get that Badoogie trimmed up at, Goot?
Fa'o, John got a snap again on the Fa'o, you monogamous.
Come on, Goot.
This is some 2053 type shit right here. You know what I mean?
Do you think the mayor speaks the language?
Definitely speaks to Goot.
Yeah, I'm Mayor Brandon Scott, the mayor of the greatest city in America, Charm City. You will not find better people in these United States of America than those that are here in Baltimore.
Have y'all seen Charm City Kings?
Losing multiple brothers.
That's a good movie.
It ain't nothing.
If y'all haven't seen it, y'all need to watch that.
Keep saying our brothers lay down and not come back. You get what I'm saying?
R.I.P. to all the fallen ones for sure though.
Kids is perpetual.
I was shot the first time in 2021, November the 15th.
Sheesh. You get your first gun at 6 years old, for sure.
At 6?
For the majority of my life, Baltimore's been a place that has had over 300 homicides in a year. 2023 is
I
when
spent
things changed.
small time in Baltimore, small time.
We're about to break a
not nowhere near where
right now are at I think 109
called the streets,
which
nothing
is the
like that
number ever through this date.
Without having more arrests, without displacing crime or violence to other areas.
Poverty in and of itself is violence.
Most of the community members that we serve is
first time in Baltimore was a kid. We went to the harbor.
We're the birthplace of redlining.
Then,
the first redlining law was signed
throughout
in
school,
my physical
we used to go to the
office,
harbor.
When you think about
like the last time I went to the harbor, I probably, well, in school, had to be like 10th or 11th grade. We went there on the field trip.
And you have flight. When you think about how guns and drugs just started showing up into these communities, you have a recipe for disaster.
I got a homie
Shout out Mayor Scott.
that stay out there.
Scott, that's my Goot.
We was out there this summer the whole time.
I just saw him at an event a couple weeks ago. Yes.
Yeah. Do you understand what he's saying?
I understand what he's saying.
I'm trying to cue now, calculate that apple mackin'.
Most of the time. But, you know, I'm from Baltimore, so I can translate.
Right now, it's supposed to be the safest year in Baltimore history. Have y'all noticed a big change?
Yeah, it has earned down a little bit, Goot.
Hey, Goot, give some of this bike culture, Goot. See how man?
That's one thing about Baltimore that's so
Mad,
hard.
I want to ride. I ain't mad. I still want to ride.
On the
I
spectrum
wish
between
my
positive
city
and
was
negative,
like
where do y'all
that.
see, like,
They
all
had
the
a more
stuff?
bike
I
culture.
feel like it's positive because like you're a young person, like young people want to have fun. That's having fun, riding dirt bikes. You ain't
That
out
shit
here
looks so
doing
fun.
some whole dumb stuff on a block selling drugs. You feel me? You riding a bike.
Like you
It
get
looks
sponsored,
so
you get
fun.
hella sponsorship. Start your YouTube channel.
Driving, ain't tripping. I got right back in that gym. Had like none even missing.
There's hella shit you could be with a dirt bike. I'ma get it. Yeah, one day.
Yes, I wish my city.
Right here, like the biggest Goot.
Already good.
I wish my city
There's a lot of good
did that
energy
jump.
swimming through. Yeah. I'm Matt T.
Hey, what's up, my Goots? Andrew Callahan here.
Allowed
Channel 5
it.
News,
I don't know if you just got it as a
You ever notice
culture.
the news overall
Just
is
up
inherently
and
negative?
do it,
ain't
or if it's just like a thing where your city allows
Maybe
it.
it's because humans have an inherent negativity bias and are more than twice as likely to engage with content that markets to either crisis or disaster. And because media organizations and social media platforms are for-profit corporations in competition who measure success through engagement and are incentivized to create content or push algorithms that create cortisol release in viewers and or users to keep them engaged for longer, which is most easily done by deploying microtraumatic digital imagery, which first requires a keen
I try to
understanding
stay
of your
away
target
from that stuff.
demographic.
I'm gonna be
Once you
real
know
with
what
y'all.
scares your audience, you can print cash from their eyeballs by scaring the shit out of them. And it's for this reason that on social media and on TV, when good things happen,
They
you
scare
almost
me
never
more
hear
so
about
with
them. After all,
financial
why would you?
stuff.
Makes no money for
Yeah.
the platform.
The good stuff don't really
Trying to
make
make
money.
make
Good
money.
news travels slower than a Galapagos tortoise off a perch
I
30 in a
stay away from
snowstorm.
all
We're trying to
that
chase
that
thoracic,
bad
dummy, on a jiggaladoogin. Which
negative
brings us to
stuff.
Baltimore, a city once perceived as being hopeless, with a reputation for gun violence, decay, drugs, and disorder.
Content,
But
to
nowadays,
be more
things are looking up
specific.
for the Charm City. Since Mayor
That's the
Brandon Scott
harbor.
was elected back in 2020, homicides
It's all-
have gone down
it's
by
all my-
54% in a
my
way that
foreign
even the
ass
local
know.
news station, which is ran by a band of Baltimore-bashing barbarians, colloquially known as the Sinclair Broadcasting Company, is
Okay.
having a hard time spinning for the worse. But they're trying.
Despite links between criminal activity and the Safe Streets program, Mayor Brendan Scott and the rest of City Hall continued to stand by the violence intervention program.
Part of Sinclair's issue is that despite the declining murder rate, there are less beat cops on the streets of Baltimore than ever. For the most part, they've been replaced by a cohort of city-employed,
It sounded like he
formerly
said
incarcerated
Sinclair
men and women
owns
from the
the
hoods of
media
Baltimore who
groups.
compose a violence intervention team called the Safe Streets Group, who have several offices around town and a 24/7 tip hotline where if you're from Baltimore, you can call in when you feel that a situation is escalating, but you don't want to call the cops.
But is there any situation
That's
where
like
you might
the
feel
Shy.
like, all right,
If y'all
I hit a
watch
wall,
that.
I gotta call 911?
No.
No.
Get the hell out the way. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call whoever I feel got the best relationship with that individual. Bro, you might need to go down there and holler at your people.
Their work is dangerous. They are in communities on the front lines using their credibility to get people to not resort to using guns to solve their conflicts. They don't have body armor. They're not carrying weapons. They are out there with their credibility.
We're not just calling each other. We might know one of the parents. We might know one of the brothers. We might know the pastor, the teacher. We know somebody in this neighborhood who knows that person.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna keep working those angles until the situation is dead or, you know what I'm saying, like until we can't go anymore. We never just come to a place where it's like, okay, it's time to call the police. It's a billion people to call. It's a billion things to try before we have to take that avenue. And that's so important to us because of our trust with the community. They don't look at us as the police. They don't expect us to operate like the police. So that's not what the type of image we want to give them.
Well, I did have a reporter ask me a few weeks ago from a Sinclair station if one of my Safe Streets workers was a Crip because he had on a blue hat. That might be the dumbest fucking question I've ever gotten in my life.
That
The
is
reporter
a
who had
pretty-
on a blue suit, by the way, so I guess he was a Crip too.
Pretty dumb question.
In a blue suit.
How'd you respond to that question?
That's a
very
very
eloquently.
racist question.
We did tell me it was the dumbest question he ever asked, but then I posted on social media the question that he asked, and then laid out to him while tagging him every single school in Baltimore that wears the color blue, and asking like, should they all change their colors and their uniforms because you think that anybody that's black in this town that wears blue is a Crip? And then asked him, was he a Crip because he had on a blue suit?
You know, one thing I've been thinking a lot about is cultural imagination. How Americans perceive other places based upon their media consumption habits. We know many Americans have the wrong idea about Baltimore.
That's one
and guess
thing
who reinforces
about
that the
Andrew
most?
Callahan.
Sinclair
He
Broadcasting.
does treat it more
Sinclair
like
Broadcasting Group has
news.
been quietly reshaping Baltimore's media landscape for years. From mandatory commentary segments on local stations to top-down editorial directives, they've shown how easy it is. for a
Unlike
powerful
Brandon Buckingham,
oligarch
which
owner
again
to turn
is
a
more
news
so
station
like,
into a
let's just
megaphone
go to
for
the
his own
hood and
politics.
see what's
So who
they
owns
living
Sinclair?
like.
It's a chat GPT-ass motherfucker named David Smith, who also owns
I'm paying
the
attention to what
Baltimore
he's
Sun.
saying right
Makes sense
now.
now?
Exactly
These
what I
narratives are all
said.
tied together.
There's
Fragmentation of the truth.
There is there's a media
algorithmic
group.
echo chambers, loaded incentives, truth versus lies.
There's
To be
a
honest,
media
nowadays in
group that's
America, this whole
pushing
situation is all too familiar.
negative
So before we put boots on the ground,
stories
we get
in
informed.
Baltimore.
Ground News. Ground News is a dope-ass news aggregate that
Oh, this
compiles
is
thousands of
commercial.
articles from across the web and ranks them in terms of bias. News with dope tips. Line reads, Baltimore and Fox debate aggregate. Something else that people don't think about is how many news stories aren't actually covering a story news. As I mean for what narrative cut straight through the north for a whopping, click the link below so we can stay out here in the or dictate you what to think. All right, back to Baltimore.
Mayor Scott's Safe Streets team is just
Got
one
me.
part
They
of the
blended
picture.
that joint in
The other
smoothly.
side relates to the urban outreach and youth mentorship programs, which are equally important.
So, welcome to Challenge Your Change. Well, we truly believe if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. When the kids come in, the mentees, they'll start reciting the affirmations. This is something we try to instill inside of them to let them know who they are. Who are we?
Challenge the change.
What do we believe in?
If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change.
What do we believe in?
If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change.
And we are determined to what?
It's our challenge.
Who gonna help change our city?
Challenge the change gonna help change our city.
Who?
There it is.
Who are we? We challenge the change. We challenge the pain just so we can gain. Who are we? We challenge the change. We challenge the change. Who are we? We challenge the change. We challenge the pain just so we can gain.
Okay.
And that's one of the pillars that we teach here at Challenge to Change in our 3 rites of passage. The first one is identity. You know, of course, it's my son right here on the wall behind you. He got murdered in 2013 as a result of gang violence and all. He got caught up in the gangs. Me serving 25 years of my life in and out of prison, left him out here, which is happening throughout major cities. The fathers are going to prison, leaving their sons and daughters out here. And he happened to be one of the first funerals I ever preached in my life was my son. When the father's absent, like, so much stuff take place because he's the pillar of the home. So if he's not there, who's there?
This is my son, Mac, and this baby Bitwell. They call him Bitley. You see what I mean? This is my son. He look just like me on the youth. They say he nice. I say he Duke Mackin', but that, hey, that's what fathers do. They think he's great, and I think he got work to do. I love you, Duke. Go ahead, Ash. It's my boy's Bitley. That's what they call him. They gave me, he earned his name.
Father is not a name, but it's the title that's a result of a function. So if you're not functioning as a father, being a maintainer, a protector, provider, then you out of the picture. You're just a sperm donor, right?
According to data, 47.5% of black youth in America live without a consistent father figure in their life. In 1950, that number was 8.5%. We've seen from data that having no father in the house is the lead cause of youth criminality across the country, regardless of race. To hundreds of kids, especially young boys, Uncle T is more than a
happy to have my dad
someone
in my
they can
life.
trust, who again won't call the cops and isn't scared to apply true discipline.
Uncle T came into my life by
I
one
can
of my
only
close
imagine
friends,
how difficult
and
it
he preached
is
at his
growing up
funeral.
in a situation
And when I
like
saw he came
Baltimore,
and preached at his
as
funeral
difficult as
for
that it
free,
is
no
without a
cause,
father.
and really genuinely care. Like, it just did something to me. Like, I always, like, man, I forever be in his good graces, you know? Like, anything he ever need, like, I'ma make sure I'm there because he didn't have to do that. I was shot the first time in 2021, November the 15th, just coming home from prison. I did 2 years. Car rolled up, like, next to me. And, like, as soon as I looked, the first shot hit me in my face and instantly blinded me. Went in this eye, crossed over, hit this eye, and got stuck in my face and instantly blinded me, even knocked my sense of smell out. And my car was shot up 45 times.
Damn.
And I hit 7 times. I saw the shots was done and I noticed I couldn't see. I just climbed out my car window, took a knee, took my hoodie off and put pressure on my face. You know, just to try and take the right procedures to keep myself alive and keep myself woke. I got hit 5 times in my legs, in my buttocks, and in my foot. A lot of people don't come out with, 45 shots, point blank range. It then getting hit in my face. I was supposed to be completely blind, but like I said again, by the grace of God, my sight came back instead of 2020. Now I got 0-12 because this eye gone.
Most kids that reach out to me, they pretty much know who they reaching out to.
I can't even
a
imagine.
Man that's gonna love them to life, not to death. And they know I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I'm being straight up, and they know that whatever kind of advice I give them or whatever I say to them is geared towards creating greatness in them or extracting greatness out of them. So that's my whole thing. Whenever a kid come in my life, you already know Uncle T. He can come to me, ask me for anything. If I got money, I'm gonna give him my last.
Yeah, my man, Uncle T. If you're Uncle T, everybody in East Baltimore knows Uncle T, right? And it's about being able to connect with people.
What the kids suffer throughout our city is perpetual trauma.
What's that again? What's that? You
stand over him.
Oh, okay.
Trauma on top of trauma, you know, acute trauma, you know, the kind of trauma that even psychiatrists and psychologists is struggling to try to deal with because there's layers and layers of it.
There's a lot of trauma. Some people don't want to intervene because they so traumatized. You get what I'm saying? They don't even cry no more sometimes. Numb. They just numb. I was shot 12 times. You get what I'm saying? My own homeboys, 2012, stood over top of me, tried to end my life. You get what I'm saying?
What are some of those shared traumas and experiences that you're referring to?
I can go on for days, but some of the core ones that we see a lot is domestic violence, substance abuse, lack of resources as far as like housing and groceries, lack of educational support, things like that.
How many of y'all seen a body on the ground?
Oh, wow.
How many of y'all know somebody close to y'all that got killed? How many of y'all went to funerals of people? Y'all never even put your hands down, man.
Some of these little younger guys need hugs. Some of them need therapy. Every young guy I come across, I preach, go to therapy. just try it. It's not gonna kill you to try, because in our communities, you weak if you go to therapy. We were just taught to take it on the chin up, chest out. The day I got shot, I really opened up to my therapist, and she was basically telling me like, get my life together and do right. Like, yeah, that's what I'm doing, but at the end of the day, you can't erase your past. I'm real big on mental health. Like, it ain't nothing I ain't been through, from drug addiction, everything. Like, all the stuff I've been through, losing friends, holding my friends in my arms as they die. Yeah, I got blamed for it, so I wasn't even able
This
to
song is
grieve
deep.
the right
I
way.
didn't
just
expect
lost
this
one
to
of my
be
closest friends. I'm holding him
this
as he
deep.
shot in the face and still gets blamed for it. Beat up by, I got beat up by his mother and everything. So that type of stuff can really
his
affect
mom?
you mentally.
And because of, like I say, the
I didn't expect for this joint. Like, this is a really, really great news document series.
Really becomes second nature.
I aspire
You can get your first gun at 6 years old, for
to,
sure.
to be something like this.
I mean, it's easy. It's super easy. Probably by your brother.
I came into his life 2 years ago, going on 3. He was a little menace around here. There's not a gun you can ask him about he don't know about. Always carried guns, right? One day, you tell him what happened.
I seen him walking up the street with all these brothers for real. They was talking to me, they had gave me a lot of money and stuff. I went home, busted down with my peoples for real. He had told me to come back later on to come see him for real, boom. I came back later on that day, had a gun on me. All the older dudes, they was showing me all the bad stuff, showing me the wrong routes. He was like, you know you risking like what's going on. He said like, you gotta take it off of you. I wasn't taking it off me. I goes back, I try go in the alley somewhere and tuck it some more, thinking I was slick. I come back, he checked me again, he still found it for real. He hollered at me, he like, you still bring it back for real. Took me to the water, I had to throw my gun for real. I ain't want to do it. I told him I wasn't doing it at first. They had hold me, he like, I got you, like I'm riding behind you, like, once you throw this gun, I'm with you all the way. Like, you gotta let it go. So I let it go, and now we here. And now, this my gun, you heard me. This my switch.
Okay.
When I had a flash on there, it's definitely gonna blind you, like I'm telling you, like, boom, you heard me. On my free time, I go downtown and hustle. I be like, how y'all doing? I'm a young photographer, and I take pictures for $10 a piece. Would y'all like to support me? And I tell them that I got a deal for 5 for 25.
That's a pretty good deal. I would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll hire you for a little photo shoot if you're down.
See, no more, definitely.
This is Baltimore Noel's Italian night. Yeah, the one and only.
I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10.
There it is.
He said he gave it a 10 out of 10, y'all. Let's get it up.
Strong young man right here, man. He got a little more journey to go, man. I just want him to stay focused for real. He already so farther than a lot of
He
older
did a piece
people.
on him because he was out of school for a whole year. I took him up at the Board of Education and demanded they get him back in school. He got back in school.
He back in school? He doing good?
How many certificates you brought?
Yeah,
he brought them to the...
About like 6 certificates, then I made
They changing this man's life. They changing him up. That's what's up.
9 million.
Oh man, you just came from school. The giddy up, okay. Oh, what you got? Man, look, y'all get it up, y'all.
Okay.
Get it up for him. Y'all don't play with that, bro. Yeah, don't give that money, y'all. Give that money. Don't play with him. That's big. The giddy up. Yeah, the giddy up. 9 million people watched that post because they were so proud of his accomplishment and his achievements.
Yeah,
He's
for
a
sure.
big
Give it up
example for other young people in the neighborhood to look up to and say, if Ma did it, I can do it. Yeah, he is a one. Yeah.
The one.
The poster child. He the poster child.
That's what's
and I'm
up.
gonna do everything in my conceivable
pray
power
he
to push
keep-
him into his greatness.
I pray he stay on that
what's up,
path.
guys? It's me again. Do you like Channel 5?
It sounds like he
What if I
is.
told you we're so
Well, I just pray for even brighter
Go over and
things.
give us a comment, time, subscribe.
And things is like
Keep making big
the way
things
that
happen.
gun violence happens now has evolved. This isn't the 1990s. This isn't things that's like, oh, it's gang violence.
They're getting close to arresting the leaders of the so-called shotgun bandits.
Only nationally, only 11% of homicides are connected to gangs. So if you went out and solved all of those, the majority of them would still be happening because most of the things that are happening are basic human conflict. And what our Safe Streets Violence Interrupters do is intercede in that.
As I mentioned, the Safe Streets program is only controversial due to the fact that they're not cops and are mostly convicted felons, but ironically, it's that credibility of being behind the wall and now outside that allows them the access to intervene in a way that leads to actual resolution.
When's the last time you broke up a fight?
honestly, last night.
Most of the violence now is the kind of stuff that you and I just discussed, that we're talking about interpersonal violence is driving gun violence around this country. In this past time,
really
reminiscent
of
because it's a
the
lot
Shy
harder to intercede in
and what
those
they were
kind of
showing
things
on that
than
show
it would be some rival
when they had
drug
that
war
same
back
program.
and forth, because we still have that, but it is not the driving force of what's happening on our streets anymore.
How many like incidents do you think spawn from a disagreement between two people about like a girlfriend or a boyfriend?
A lot of
I just realized they got the Oreos colors.
That's a big majority.
That's 90%.
That orange and black, that's the Oreos.
Situations that transpire in this community at least.
What's the main kind of immediate help that you find people need most often?
Rental assistance, eviction prevention, and always, substance abuse and mental health. The rental assistance and eviction prevention are two of the biggest things that we suffer from in this community. So a lot of families facing being put out because rent and been spiked and all that, but nothing in the economy spiked with it. So we got people that's just forced to pay more for less, and of course that pressure a lot. So our focus is trying to help people from losing their places to sleep, which that's definitely going to then lead to more violence and other things, depression and everything.
Aside from providing guidance to the at-risk youth of the city, participating in outreach programs is also therapeutic to a whole cohort of formerly incarcerated people who've been released and are looking to make things right and give back.
I was recently released from prison on October the 3rd. I had to serve 18 years in prison. I used to sell drugs right on this corner growing up. That's a parasitic behavior, you know what I'm saying? We take so much from our community and never get back to it. But I turned my life around while I was in prison. Come over here and assist Uncle T in whatever way that I can, dealing with the youth on this side of town as well. Because I feel like it's imperative that I come over and try to fix a community that I tore down growing up. I was gone since I was a kid. I'm 37 years old now, man. It just felt good to finally walk out those doors as a free man. First thing I did was drive to my daughter's school and surprise.
How'd she react to that?
It blew her mind. She was in shock.
That's what's up.
Hey, girl.
And I think that's another point that I want to make, because you know that some folks fall into this thing where it has
I
to
had
be
kids,
arresting a
but
bunch
one
of people.
day-
That's never been the case. If you look at 2004, the city of Baltimore had 278 homicides that year. In a city of roughly 600,000, they made 91,000 arrests. Last year, we had 201 homicides. We made 15,000 arrests. Significantly fewer homicides with significantly fewer arrests, because it's never been about how many people, it's who and for what.
I think the police are seeing the
Baltimore, that's
benefit
what's
in the
up.
work that we're doing. They see us as a partner in this, and they recognize there's certain things that they cannot do. We're not just gonna police our way out of this problem. I think hopefully over time, and we've been able to do all of this without putting additional cops on the street. We've been able to do this at a time
This
when
is a really
the police
positive
department
story.
says like we don't have as many officers as we'd like to have on the street.
It's what
we
you,
can take
you,
a lot of
you
credit,
don't
pat
really see.
ourselves on the back, but a big
For
part of what took place with these numbers
major
was
cities
our community.
with
Absolutely.
So you guys imagine in maybe 5 years, your
the
program
inner city
quadruple in size or something
social
like that, especially when
economic
they see the
issues
data,
that you
they'll probably
see
want to expand it.
That's what
that come
should
from
happen. It should be more
such
sites
cities.
and more zones. We got at least 4 zones last year. Went
Baltimore do
365
get a lot of
without
negative press.
homicide. And we made it like 319 days down here.
I
It
think
should just be more
nationally,
zones. That's more potential
locally,
for 365 days without a homicide.
because I remember
When you're looking
Virginia,
at this thing, you should look at it as like
I know
cancer.
Baltimore
We don't
is a
want just
great
to
city.
cure one symptom of cancer.
There's a lot
We
to
want to
offer. It do
eliminate
got
the
real
entirety
issues.
of cancer. We've gone after gun companies. We
Definitely
sued
places you
Parliament
don't-
80, the nation's
you don't think
largest
it's
ghost
sweet.
gun company, and we
Don't go
ended their
around
business, and now
playing.
they're going bankrupt, right? And we saw ghost gun recoveries fall off a cliff. Just a few weeks ago, we were awarded the largest
Baltimore is a
settlement
great
ever
city.
against a gun store, Hanover
Charm-
Armory in Anne
Charm
Arundel
City.
County, that was selling weapons to people, children, people that shouldn't have them, all of these folks, without background checks and without IDs. We're doing that focus as well.
What do you think is the main thing that keeps people locked to the streets or in that cycle?
The people who they love. That's one of the things I'm facing right now. My brother, for example, he's still in the streets. I love him. I told him, like, don't let me down, bro. Like, get out the streets, you feel me? But I don't have no alternative for him. So I can't keep telling him that. And that's why I feel so bad, because I don't got no alternative for him. If I had an alternative for him, he'd have been out the streets.
As far as your family situation goes, do you have like a mom and dad in your life?
Nah. They messed up. I'm trying to bring my family back. For instance, I don't really mess with my father, so he out of the situation, but my mother, that's my heart. I gotta do this for her. I gotta win. I gotta build this generational wealth. I know I can do
Man,
it.
kids
I believe
grow
in
up
myself.
fast,
I
man.
said to myself
Some
when
kids
starting
just
this
grow up
program,
super
what
fast.
kind of man it
And
would
they
have been
forced
to
to 'cause
capture
of their
me.
circumstances.
You know, my mom's died when I was 3. Never seen my father a day in my life. I'm 63. Still don't know who my dad is. Don't know if he's living or dead. I dropped out of school, hit the block, and the rest was history. But I said to myself, what kind of man would it have taken to get me at that time in my life? And that's who I mold myself to be today, so I can reach the kid, the little Uncle T's that I was when I was young.
Most of the time now when I'm traveling to another place, ironically, it's to talk about how we as a city have been able to have this historic reductions in gun violence, and now we're seen as a leader in the space that we were seen at the bottom of the barrel just a few years ago. People now see Baltimore as a place that they should invest in, a city that is on the come up, that is on the rise,
sure.
or as we say, that is going through a renaissance. So really, when you talk about Baltimore, you talk about that grit, that spirit that I can go through troubles and trials and make it to the other side. When you had the gun in your face, when you've buried friends, when you've seen your friends' parents dealing with extreme levels of addiction, when you went to school and you didn't have your first air-conditioned class until 9th grade, where you lived on blocks, where you saw vacant housing every single day, it makes it very different.
There's a lot of different lanes to this work, and instead of as a city lifting up one program and saying like this is going to be the magical thing that solves the problem, our city is way too diverse to just have one single strategy.
We have to have a better education system. We have to make sure that people have jobs and are able to provide for their families. All of those things matter. We have to make sure that physical and mental health is right too. There is no one thing. There is no silver bullet. All of those factors play into what's happening, not just in Baltimore, but across the country.
Channel 5 live worldwide, Hollywood and
I should have muted that. I should have muted
Channel
that.
5 News. Channel
Somebody at the
55.
door.
We don't fuck with custers. And 5 is the best number.
Shortly after leaving Baltimore, where I saw the city's majority black community begin to heal after decades of violence, trauma, and neglect, I caught wind of something else happening. Literally, the opposite thing happening in Arkansas. 50 to 75 white Americans leaving society to bring back segregation in their own private compound. The compound is called Return to the Land. Here's a preview of that coverage.
Lived in a black neighborhood for quite a while. I saw how they treated white people. It's not very good, and yet all the hate is on white males.
You would get beat up if you said something racial to a black person.
You saw that happen?
Yes.
Almost exclusively white communities exist all around the United States off of paper merely because of socioeconomics, and that if you are wealthy enough, everyone who becomes wealthy enough will buy into a more or less white-only gated community. But I would not be able to afford that outside of working my entire life to build up a bunch of businesses, but I would like to have kids.
I want my kids to be taught that their ancestors did great things, not that they were the villains of history.
Correct, and Arkansas is nice. As far as I know, the laws are you just need to let them know that you're going to be homeschooling, and then after that, there's no testing that you need to do, or they don't really check up on you.
The first community that really went after us was the r/Jewish subreddit. I had CPS come out here because they had complained to CPS trying to get my kids taken away. The health department has come out here, complaints. They just blanket made complaints to everyone. I mean, I do have Mein Kampf, but I think that's just historically relevant.
Who wrote that one?
Mein Kampf?
Yeah.
Hitler.
Oh, shit.
He's sort of the central villain of the 20th century. So if you don't understand
I have no interest
then you're
in this
again
one.
missing a big piece of history. Did he make mistakes? I believe so.
What do you think the biggest mistake was?
Invading the Sudetenland.
None of the other stuff.
The other stuff? Well, it depends on what you mean.
Just like the Holocaust and everything.
Holocaust? I don't know about all that.
Everybody thinks Genghis Khan is cool.
wow.
He killed more people than Hitler.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
I like making tacos. That's fun.
If you'd like to see our full episode inside the whites-only community of Arkansas, head to our Patreon at www.patreon.com/channel5.
I don't want to
As
see
many
that.
of you guys know, we are 100% independent, primarily crowd.
All right. Interesting take. Not interesting take. Dope take at the city of Baltimore. It was a great looking into it. I think they were able to shed light on a lot of the city's like lesser seen stories that actually are impactful and can enact change. Like he said, challenge and change. Like, it's a really, really good program. I'm glad. I didn't even know that Baltimore was actually on the forefront of changing their gun violence. Yeah, like their gun violence and their gun crime, lowering that rate. I didn't know they were on the forefront of that. So that's really dope. That's good to know. And like the mayor said, he's being invited to other cities to travel and talk about that. So that's just a really, really dope thing. So yeah, that's going to do it for this video. I'm your homie CT, aka your man's mind Vadon. Until our next video, we got series on the way. We got reactions, more stuff. Peace.